Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast presented by FanDuel. It's Wednesday, April 15th, 2026. I'm Jay Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Millis.
Happy tax day to all those who celebrate.
Next to him, it's my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Ayo.
Ayo. And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Hello to everybody on YouTube. Hello, podcast listeners. 5-star ratings and reviews on today's pod. It's going to be a chunky one. We're going to preview and predict the Knicks-Hawks and Cavaliers-Raptors series. So the 3-6 and the 4-5 in the East. But we start with the NBA play-in tournament. Excuse me, JD. We start with the pit. Are you down with PIT?
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, the pit is lit. That's what we're calling the play-in tournament from now on. Everybody joining us on the live stream watch party last night. The pit, what a start. We'll go to Charlotte. LaMelo Ball made a layup with under 5 seconds left in overtime, and Miles Bridges blocked Davion Mitchell's layup attempt at the buzzer as the Hornets beat Miami 127-126 in a wild, wild game. So the Heat have been eliminated from the playoffs. This game had absolutely everything. TK, we were going nuts like 10 different times in the watch party live stream. What a game. Where do you want to start with this one?
I don't know. I don't know. Everything happened in this game. It felt like every player made the big play when they needed to make a big play. I was so impressed by the Hornets' resilience to have such a poor shooting first half in particular and keep firing away, keep firing away, keep firing away. Guys like Brandon Miller shakes off a bad first half to turn in a pretty solid game. LaMelo really up and down, including a brutal turnover late in overtime, followed by a 3-point foul on Tyler Hero there in the corner. It's looking bad for the Hornets. But LaMelo puts his head down, gets to the rim, and finishes a tough game-winning layup. Then the awesome block on the other end by the Hornets as well. It was just an awesome game to watch. Like, I guess the Duke-UConn game was probably this exciting as well, but this was the best game of March Madness, and it was the April PIT.
Who knew that the PIT would come through? Is this PIT better or the Pit, the show? Double T.
Great show, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this is a great start to the PIT. There's no doubt. It was wild. The whole thing. I do want to start with LaMelo Ball pulling the foot of Bam Adebayo and dropping the guy and injuring him.
Yep.
That's what happened. Bam Adebayo was going to fall on his butt, but the way LaMelo Ball grabbed his foot and yanked him, he obviously went down on his ass even harder. Something happened where he couldn't return in the game. And obviously, really tough dude in the second quarter was hobbling off and wasn't able to return for the rest of the game. So you say a lot of resilience from the Hornets, but also a ton of resilience from the Heat side.
Totally.
This was such a good game to do it without Bam Adebayo, Davion Mitchell, Andrew Wiggins. We'll get into all that. But and I don't know if he had to go to the pit and be seen by the emergency crew there because I thought he was going to fight through because he was literally able to walk off, but whatever was happening there, it was amplified by the LaMelo Ball grabbing of his foot and yanking the guy down.
Eros Spoelstra pissed after the game, too. Said LaMelo should have been ejected for that trip on Bam, like you're saying, early in the second quarter, which led to him being knocked out because of the whatever. His ass was sore, his tailbone, his lower back. It's all connected. Like Spoelstra did make it clear, we had chances to win this game. We should have won this game. We get stops. We pull it out. But what do you think about him really for Spoelstra going in on this idea of of course it wasn't reviewed too, and I know the referees said, well, we couldn't because play continued. He saved it. There was a fast break and then all that crap. But do you think LaMelo Ball could be suspended for the next game on Friday night? There's some buzz or some talk about that. What do you think? Is that too far or what's your gut?
I think there will be a retroactive punishment because something should have happened in the moment, but I guess because it was right in front of the referee, he wasn't looking straight down to see what was going on with LaMelo and Bam. I don't think it will be a suspension, though. The first thing I thought of seeing it was Matthew Dellavedova locking up Taj Gibson's ankle. I think this was during the 2015 playoffs. Taj gets really mad. He gets ejected for going at Dellavedova, but after the game, Delly eventually got a technical added. I could see maybe that happening for LaMelo in the interim here before they play again, or maybe a flagrant one, kind of like when I guess that was Draymond threw down Domantas Matahunas. That's the guy's name, right? Remember this? He picked up a post-game flagrant foul, which is why it all added up, and he ended up getting suspended during the NBA Finals. That was a play where he was just like tangentially involved in the play, chucked him. They saw it afterwards, and they're like, "Oh, that was bad. You get a flagrant." That's similar to what happened with LaMelo here. So I don't think he would have gotten ejected from the game if the refs called it immediately, but he definitely would have gotten a flagrant foul, and this definitely had an impact on the game because a lot of offensive rebounds for the Hornets. I thought Khalil Ware played incredibly well. I thought he really stepped up, but it also ended up being the second time in his career that he's ever played more than 40 minutes in a game, and you could tell he was struggling by the end of this one. Just looked a step slow, out of position, giving up layups that maybe he doesn't give up in the middle of the third quarter, or if he gets to rest, or if the Heat have another backup big that they could throw in to relieve him a little bit. So this definitely was part of the game story. Like, this is one of the biggest parts of the entire thing because it had a huge impact.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Wow, I didn't know we get a Domantas Matahunas mention. I mean, I guess Draymond Green's hurt every Domantas in the league. He also stepped on Domantas Sabonis' chest later in his career. But there's so many things for the Heat. I thought Jaime Jaquez just missing a free throw with 30 seconds left when it could have been them up 5 before Brandon Miller drops that big 3 to make it a 1-point game instead of being a 2-point game if Jaquez hits that shot. And then it's different before Kobe White hits a 3. So very different. Yeah, the Heat just didn't come through with these little tiny things. But Brandon Miller, I thought hitting that 3 was so big. The roller coaster of a couple Hornets was very different. Con Knipple obviously didn't have a very good night at all, while Brandon Miller stunk in the first half.
Yes. He got in foul trouble right away.
Yeah, he had one basket in the first half. He played under 10 minutes in the first half. He goes to the locker room and is a new guy coming out in the second half. He was able to flow through it while Con, unfortunately, was not. And you could see Charles Lee of the Hornets, he tried to get Con Knipple going because he called that first timeout early in this game. It was 11-10 because LaMelo Ball wasn't playing defense. And in part, hey, LaMelo, you want to play defense and not just let Davion Mitchell go by you, but also the call out of the timeout, the play was Con Knipple's first shot has to happen a few minutes into this game. So Con Knipple came out and shot that 3. He missed, but there was an effort to get him going, and it never really worked out. You saw him in midway through the fourth as the Heat were making their run. He got into the mid-range, and that's a Con Knipple layup. But he passed out. He just wasn't feeling it at all. He just couldn't go.
He got in his head because he couldn't hit these shots.
Yeah.
Every three-pointer was long. Every single one was off to the back of the rim. But you're right. That one in the middle of the paint was a wide open jumper, but it was in his head. He's like, I don't have it.
Yeah.
And credit to Charles Lee for going away from him.
Yeah,
I mean, down the stretch.
He didn't play.
He did not play. Yeah. I mean, Kobe White saved the Hornets. We'll get to him, I know. The pit master, as we're now calling Kobe White. And then, there's a lot of Grant Williams at the end in situations. Probably too much, but he went away from Con because he's like, well, the guy can't hit a shot, and he looks a little rattled. He seemed to be grimacing every time they showed him on the bench, too. I don't know if there was an injury or something, but, some coaches aren't doing that. Go away from the guy that leads the league in three-pointers.
Yeah.
But he's like, he doesn't have it tonight, and at least we have a couple other guys on the bench I have more confidence in.
I don't know if he was grimacing or just he's a fair-skinned kid who's got like red cheeks all over the place.
Yeah, he's a pink guy.
He just looks red all the time. He just simply, he couldn't get it going. He wasn't forcing it by any means. I don't think it was the Heat taking away his space and all that. I couldn't buy that. I mean, I jumped over to the Amazon Prime to see what they were saying about Con Knipple, and Dirk was breaking it down to some degree, like they were taking his space away, but he just wasn't right.
But this wasn't a one-off either. He hasn't been able to shoot for like 3 or 4
cold.
weeks
He's been
now.
struggling.
He's probably hit, like a lot of people are saying, like a rookie wall where it's like he's never played this many games in his career here.
The way that a rookie's season goes, it's like they finish March Madness, they go into draft prep immediately, then they're playing in Summer League, and then they're playing now into the middle of April. Yeah, he's probably tired, and maybe the lights were a little bit too bright. I still would have rather had him out there than Grant Williams.
Yeah, they decided Kobe White
It's not
over
like
him.
Grant was hitting, No.
No. But Kobe White, let's talk about him. 19 points, 5 boards, 3 assists. And Trey, you jumped on in the second half for the watch party, and that's when Kobe White went nuts. He's like, "Oh, Bulls fans here. All right, let's go." I've played in these playing games before. He was incredible. He just hit like a bunch of threes, and suddenly the Hornets were back in the lead, and then he hits the one to force overtime, which was amazing. Where he just comes screaming around on the side. They had talked, I'm sure, in the huddle about like they might foul us. We might get the situation where like we're trailing by 3. the Miami might put us on the line here to play the whole free throw game. So let's just go for the shot right away. He did, banged it home.
Shot it like a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
He caught it, turned and fired it up. His feet weren't facing the basket. He was completely off balance, and that was like 10 seconds left, not 1 second left. Him playing as well as he did in the second half is why it was okay for Charles Lee to sit Con down on the bench, because somebody else actually had it going. And Kobe hit exclusively tough three-pointers last night. The first one he gets is on a Brandon Miller tip out, as if it were an outlet pass. Goes right to him, knocks it down. Then he banked in a three. Then Pelle Larsson gets a rebound, just falls over.
Oh, yeah.
Goes right to Kobe. He steps into it, knocks it down. Then we talked about the shot clock beater right at the end of the third quarter, I guess right at the end of the fourth quarter before they were going to foul. He completely surprised them. That was just a smart way to play it, because they were definitely going to foul. Kobe White has been eliminated by the Miami Heat in the previous 3 play-in tournaments. He said not today.
Got his revenge.
Man, that was some script writing to see Kobe White do that at the end of the regulation, back to the basket, turn around from three-point line, and then Tyler Hero to do virtually the same thing at the end of overtime, which was fantastic. But the script writing, I thought, even Kobe White in the third quarter when he got it going, that one where he banked it home, obviously didn't mean to do that. But then Pelle Larsson, he just fell in the backcourt to give Kobe White the ball again to be able to line up a three after the one he banked home. So that one goes down. And then at the end of the third quarter, LaMelo Ball saying, Kobe White, you take it. 1 second left at the end of the third quarter. You shoot it, dude. And he hit it home. Yeah. So he caught fire. Yeah, without him, they obviously don't win the game. It was just so fun to see all these Hornets contribute, especially on a night when Conklin didn't have it going.
That's right. Diabate, huge on the glass. I think 8 offensive rebounds in the end, 14 total boards. He's not out there to score, but he's out there to go get those extra possessions. He was big. It pains me to say this, but maybe the best game of Miles Bridges' career. He was good.
He is the onion meme. It's heartbreaking. The worst person in the world just had a great game.
28 points, 9 boards.
Did a lot.
He was active. And what a block, too. He skied for that thing. Obviously, we were a little confused because the broadcast on Amazon was showing a timeout. We're like, hold on, what's going on? Why aren't the Heat calling a timeout? SVG was all over it, though. Mitchell pushes it. It's like, holy crap, he's going to get there because he had a great game. Fast as lightning. He can hit those tough shots where he's like screaming at the net, but he can kiss it high. But Bridges and Miller, obviously challenging as well. What a fascinating way. Imagine Eric Collins, his head would have exploded if he was on the call on that one. Yeah. Oh my God.
Was he in the building? I don't know. I mean, we saw Del Curry a lot. You have to imagine Eric Collins at least goes to the game after calling 82 games. And is he just sitting in the stands doing his thing, yelling hum diddly dee?
To anyone in particular? Yeah, maybe.
I mean, if you had Eric Collins sitting next to you, you would be yelling hum diddly dee as well, you know? And I guess this is exactly what Mike Breen is talking about. Everybody would have flipped over to watch the Hornets broadcast of this.
Yeah. Hey, and Eagle and Stan were great. I love Eagle. But also, doesn't Eric Collins work for Prime?
He does, right?
That is true. So, I think that's who he works for.
I mean, maybe they were like, oh, he'll be too biased.
Yeah, too much.
I don't know. But wow, he would have been going.
I'm trying to think, like Breen is specifically talking about the playoffs, that the local broadcasts don't have the playoffs. But I guess they don't have the play-in either.
Right.
Because
it's on Prime.
The Prime
Prime.
Yeah. Because last year, I'm trying to think if the local guys had the play-in or that was it. Either way. Yes, Eric Collins would have been great. They kept showing Del Curry eating his snacks in the crowd. He was just chopping.
What do you think he was eating? He was chewing hard.
Yeah, it was meaty.
Yeah, it wasn't. At first it's like, oh, he's chomping on popcorn, but he was really grinding his teeth. That was like the stalest popcorn of all time, if that's what he was eating. I'm not sure. What do you think Del Curry was eating? Let us know on the stream team. The Heat went to a zone there in the fourth quarter, and it was basically working because Charlotte just kept shooting threes. They went 4 of 17 from behind the line in the final 12 minutes. A lot of their fourth quarter three-point attempts were like, they would like pump fake, and a Heat guy would fly by, and then they would reset, and then they would take an open shot. But they just couldn't hit them. But you're like, at a certain point, like, okay, a guy just blew by you. Maybe go in, man. Maybe attack a little bit, and you got the numbers advantage. But they just kept letting it fly. They went 18 for 56 from deep, 32%. But this is their MO. This is how they've played all season long. They shoot a lot of threes. They generally hit a lot of threes, but they struggled that night.
Yes, LaMelo Ball's taken 31 shots. I thought, coming into the play-in, I thought, okay, Steph Curry is going to shoot 30-plus shots, being that the Warriors need somebody to shoot. But no, here comes LaMelo, who's ready just to fire. And I do want to at least point out the fact that early in this game, I thought Knippel could have been involved more. He took 11 shots in this game, and I don't think he was involved. You're right, that's their MO up top. Here comes LaMelo Ball. There's a pick flare for Brandon Miller in this case a lot of the night. Usually it's Knippel to get involved, and he was just in the corner, just hanging out, and I thought he could have been involved more. He was pointing. He's like, okay, give it to that guy up top so he can swing it over here to me when they close out on him. I need to be involved. He wasn't, and I think that's exactly why Charles Lee said, get that guy involved on that first shot that I'm calling a timeout to help out not only the LaMelo Ball defense, but either way, Kobe White was awesome off the bench to really produce when Knippel didn't. So they got enough done. It was fun because, like you mentioned, Diabate, there was offensive boards after offensive board. They just had guys just fighting. That place was buzzing. Unfortunately, Eric Collins wasn't there, but in Charlotte, it felt like a playoff game. I mean, everybody was standing. It felt loud. So the guys came through. And then on the other side, the Wiggins and the Davion Mitchell, they were fighting hard themselves.
Oh my God, yeah, for sure. Those guys had great games. It was so entertaining. Unfortunate for Amazon, we had a technical difficulty late in the game in overtime, like very late in the game when this game was nuts, and suddenly we got the black screen. Everybody got the black screen if you were watching on Amazon Prime, and then they put up the technical difficulties, and you got the little music like you were on hold with your bank or something like that.
SoFi?
Yeah. Lasted, I don't know, when it lasts. It felt like an eternity. It was probably like 45 seconds, but we come back and we see, the Hornets
A basket happened.
did score, and then we saw the replay and it's like, I think LaMelo Ball got away with a travel on that one. He slow stepped it and then did a tiny little bunny hop with that one foot, but they counted it, and obviously he had the game winner at the end, which was an awesome play call too. The way they had him screaming around and like he caught it on the fly and just kept turning, just pivoting with Hawkes there on his hip, and got to the rim. That was a great design play, and great play by LaMelo to just attack right away. Not get it, set up, obviously see what the situation is on defense. No, he just scream, go to the net.
He made 2 of the biggest shots for the Hornets, and I hear people like dunking on his game because he took 31 shots. He did, yeah. He had a really bad turnover. He also had 3 turnovers on the night, 10 assists. They don't win this game without LaMelo taking charge and emptying the clip.
He almost had the biggest choke job. He got away with it with coming through with the revenge. But the throwaway where he was panicking, I think, because he got in his head that the 8-second violation was about to happen. It was getting close.
Yeah, it was close for sure.
6 or 7 seconds. So he had to get it over half court because the Heat were pressing him, and then he obviously tried to make the pass into the front court. Larson was all over it. And then he fouled, obviously, Hero in the corner. And he did. I mean, we didn't get great replays on that, but he hit him in the head, and LaMelo even admitted, I screwed that one up. So it wasn't looking good there for a second. It was like, oh, wow, they really blew this. They gave it away. But then he made the plays down the stretch.
He did. I obviously, LaMelo needed to be good to win this game. I did want to see other guys get involved a little bit more, and that's why, in a crazy way, the Portland-Phoenix game that we'll get to was a little bit more of a team effort than this one. Because LaMelo, I think, wanted to shine in this game. And he got
3 guys get for 20, basically.
Yeah.
Kobe finished with 19, but close enough.
Yeah, he was awesome.
1 guy was bad, Con.
Yeah. I just think he could have got guys more involved.
I would have liked to see Con have a good game, too, but he did not.
No, I want to say, I don't know if Com's fingertips or whatever the heck was happening with him could have been more. He just could have been more involved. I don't know if his form again was off or he was just off. But LaMelo coming out right out the gate, just continuing to shoot. Again, I think Charles Lee was like, "Hey, we got to get our other guy involved. We need 4 guys shooting on this team. Diabate never has to shoot, but the other guys have to." And I just want to see more of a team game. That's all.
I think it was pretty obvious LaMelo was going to shoot 30 times this game when he was cooking to start the game. He was on fire at the beginning.
He was.
Obviously, he couldn't hit a 3 to save his life, his weird-looking shot. The guy just plays like he's 15 years old still. He really does.
Yep.
He's like a 6-7-year pro. He plays like he's 15. And it's actually hilarious. He's unique. You got to give him that. He's a polarizing player for sure. He makes some boneheaded plays. When he misses shots, that's the thing. When he misses shots, you're like, well, that was the stupidest shot I've ever seen. Just because of his form, really, and how he takes it and where he takes it and is one-footed. And it looks bad when he misses, but he kept shooting through it, and he made, obviously, the play of the game at the end.
Was it a travel on his sort of sidestep thing when he got to the baseline and kind of was on his left foot?
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell.
Yeah. Well, I thought he hopped on it. Yeah.
Okay.
The slow play one where we missed basically because of technical difficulty. I only saw the replay, unfortunately.
I don't actually know.
Yeah, it was hilarious that Amazon booped out. It's funny because I watched this on League Pass, the entire thing. The feed was fine, the whole thing. Then I tried to watch Portland Phoenix on League Pass today, and the only thing I could watch was the Spanish game. It started calling it, and I started hearing Spanish.
Los Suns.
Los Suns. So I had to click over, unless I wanted to watch Los Suns against Los Blazers, I had to click over to the Amazon Prime app, which worked really well.
They got replays on there. Like you can watch last night's game. That's cool.
Yeah, the full on game.
They do need to fix their audio issue, and this has been a thing going on all season long. It's off. Like you can hear Eagle is like either Eagle can see the future, and maybe he can.
He's called a lot of games.
It's like you hear like a big basket, especially you hear a bit of the pop of the crowd, and Eagle even calling it at times before you see it. It's like just off. But I mean, Wob's been all over this all season long, and I think the hope was, well, they'll get it fixed for the play-in games, for the pit, for the postseason. And they haven't. It's still there. It wasn't as bad for you and me. I felt like, Trey, with the watch party and the second screen experience. I didn't notice it as badly last night, but a lot of people on Twitter were like, what the hell? This is like the ultimate spoiler, audio spoiler every play. Not good. Also, what do you think of the Prime Playmaker chain that they're handing out after every game? LaMelo got the first one. Cassidy Hubbarth was excited to give it to him. LaMelo was pumped. He's like, can I keep it? Cassidy Hubbarth had to look back at a producer. It's like, I don't know.
Can he?
Can he keep this? How many we got of these things? Do you have an opinion on this? Oh, nice zoomer, JD.
I was surprised that he was super excited to get it because I thought, that ain't diamonds. Those aren't. That ain't diamonds. Those aren't super nice. That's cubic zirconias, LaMelo. I think you can go afford to buy something just as nice. It is cool that the plays are literally shown from the game that you just played in on that thing. Well, that part's cool.
But it was funny when she first handed it to him. The play was Davion Mitchell crossing LaMelo Ball's ass up.
She swiped it. She swiped it off.
Did she swipe it?
So I was like, I wonder if they programmed multiple players here because we got to make a decision right away, right?
Yeah,
like
true.
this was a game that was down to the buzzer. So was it going to Davion Mitchell if they win?
Well, yeah.
And we never see it on the scroll? I thought a lot about this. And I think it's awesome.
Okay, you like it?
Yeah, I think this is a really, really great idea. And I'm glad that the first guy to get one is LaMelo.
Well,
like
yes.
the perfect guy. He should wear it into the next pit game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. I don't mind that.
If he gets to keep it. I assume he did.
Well, I mean, Deni Avdija got one later in the night.
Yeah.
They gave that one to him in the hallway. I think Damian Lillard bestowed it upon him. So anyway.
I don't think it had LaMelo's game winner on there. I don't think Amazon had the technology to make it happen that fast that he just hit the game winner and then you could see the plays on there from earlier in the game. So I'm sure it'll get reprogrammed.
Cassidy mistakenly said, yeah, the plays it's live on there right now. She said that, and I was like, oh, this will be hilarious. If it is actually live, it'll be you interviewing LaMelo on the chain. So I got really excited for a second, but she meant just the highlights, quick turnaround here.
Yeah. I thought maybe they might cut out to full screen of the highlights they're showing on that thing as it was happening. Yeah, it didn't happen.
But you're on board.
I'm super on board. I think this is really, really great, and I think they should keep it up for whatever series they get going further into the first round. Yeah. And look, you could tell this was not a Victor Solomon production because it looked interesting.
A little different.
Yeah, a little different.
I think Mike Kaplan made that.
I bet it was his idea. Let's do it. He's got incredible swag.
All right, so thanks to a scheduling conflict in Philadelphia, the Hornets get an extra day of rest. This is my favorite part of this game. This was just to play again on Friday night.
That's a great point.
That was the biggest win in Hornets history in a very long time, over like basically a decade since they were actually in the playoffs. So they're going to play the loser of tonight's Magic 76ers game on Friday. Hornets win that game, they're in the playoffs for the first time since 2016. Did we ever get an update on colonoscopy guy? Hornets fan?
He didn't go, and he's mad.
He's mad.
Yeah, he was responding to a lot of people in the Reddit thread yesterday saying, I will never trust Reddit again. You told me not to go to the game, but the prep wasn't that bad.
Whoa, JD. I mean, that's maybe a bit of a shot at you, too. You were definitely saying, do not go.
Well, yeah, but he didn't hear me say that, did he?
You don't know. He might be
no, JD was advocating going to the game and rescheduling his colonoscopy.
Yeah.
I think, A, it would have been worth the $1,000 rescheduling the colonoscopy fee. And it would have been worth not rescheduling, going anyways, and pooping your pants in public. Like, that would be a great story to tell your kids. You should get a chain for that. I pooped my pants during the LaMelo game.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, he said the prep wasn't all that bad.
That's
what he was saying. He was saying everybody exaggerated in how bad it was going to be. That's what he
said. I'm built different.
Yeah. So he would have been totally fine if he was in a suite, which had a toilet in that suite. If he would have been able to make that. Well, I don't think he would have been charged that at all. I think he could have consulted with the Hornets ownership and said, listen.
Did you just call up NBA teams now and say, hey, I really need a suite. I'm going to shit my pants all over your building unless you get me a suite, man. I'll try that.
And I'm gonna be shitting in that suite like most of the time, by the way. So the one toilet in the suite, I'm gonna be in there shitting my guts out. Okay,
Make sure there's a TV in there, yeah.
This is an opportunity for a place like Real Sports where they have televisions in the bathrooms. They'd be like, if you have a colonoscopy the next day, come and watch our game at Real Sports.
Should have made it happen. This team doesn't make the playoffs at all. They could have made this a story, even if it's not a suite. As I said yesterday, you get them right beside one of the tunnels. Like, you could just leave and go directly to the toilet, like within 40 steps. You know where toilets are, right beside there. He could have hustled each and every time, but I guess it wasn't that many times because he said really the prep wasn't that bad. Like, he didn't give us the numbers, how many times he had to go to the bathroom, but it sounded like
numbers.
Well, you can count them on one hand.
Well, he ain't doing it right. If it wasn't that bad, that's the bottom
This
line.
guy's not doing it right.
He's not prepping right.
His guys, we need his doctor to chime in and say how good the prep went.
Oh, Shaq and Ernie and that crew had on the Pacers fans, the couple that was yelling at each other. We could be having on the colonoscopy guy.
Reach out. All right.
To talk to him about his friend.
We got some questions. All right, let's move on to the second game last night, which was also fantastic. Deni Avdija scored 41 points, including the go-ahead three-point play with 16 seconds left as the Blazers clawed back from an 11-point deficit in the fourth quarter to beat the Suns 114-110 in their West Pit matchup. So Portland, they earned the number 7 seed. They're in the playoffs. They're going to take on the Spurs. We'll break down that series later this week and make some predictions. But the game itself, where do you want to begin with this one?
Well, they were down double digits midway through the fourth quarter. And then their big three came through, starting with Drew Holiday. Got swung to him on the baseline, a baseline jumper. Then Drew Holiday hits a baseline three. Then here comes the leader of your big three, Deni Avdija, coming through. A three and free throws for him. And then of all people, Jeremy Grant with 3 minutes left and then 2 minutes left, hitting back-to-back big threes, sandwiched a monstrous block.
Huge block.
With his left hand in between those to get them to this point. This guy had 16 points in 19 minutes off the bench. How my man Tiago Splitter, as head coach of the Blazers, have got this guy to play in that role, making $30+ million. Obviously fantastic on that side. And then Deni finished it out. 2 layups and a free throw to end it in that last minute. I liked how the refs didn't give him a technical foul because he was yelling about another potential free throw he could have got on one of those layups with 37 seconds left. I like that. There's passion in the play-in and the playoffs. It's quite all right. But those guys just closed it out. I mean, you could go to the other side and watch what the Suns did during those 6 minutes where, again, they were up double digits. And it just wasn't executed all that well. It was a little sloppy. But the Blazers absolutely coming through. Did not expect that come. Did not expect the end of the first pit and then the end of the second pit, the way it happened.
Yeah, I definitely thought that the Suns were going to win it after they went on their huge run in the second half. This was a weird game of runs. Like the first pit game, it was like 10-point runs here and there. This was like extended runs for both teams, like 25-6 or something like that. So when the Suns actually went ahead and Portland was struggling to take care of the ball, I was like, uh-oh. This is turning the way of the Suns. Not looking good for the Blazers. But then downhill, Deni got busy. He was like Luka to me because he looked like Luka Doncic out there. He's dribbling between his legs, dribbling. Waits till you get off balance. But unlike Luka, who wants to step back and shoot a three, as soon as you're off balance, Avdija just gets to the rim. Yep. And he was getting to the rim all night last night. 13 free throws, 12 of 14 on 2-pointers. I think 9 of those were layups, including the big one to really ice the game. And he was feeling it as well. You can see why he got the playmaker chain. He was having a great time trash talking Jalen Green, it looked like specifically. He was pointing at him every time he scored and wanted him.
Yeah.
He lived up to the nickname Turbo there last night.
He did.
Holy crap, was he initiating the action, as he has all season long, but really proving he could be a number one option. He was hitting some threes. He was throwing lobs left and right. This guy loves a lob pass. That is very similar to Luka as well. I saw Nate Jones asking, who are comps for Deni Avdija? A lot of people going with the Luka. Some people saying he's not as crafty as Ginobili, but he has that relentless downhill sort of drive that Manu had. I see that. I love the Danilo Gallinari before the leg injuries. I'm like, yeah, I see a little bit of it, but he's got more force, just way more force. I don't know if there's any other ones that come to mind. People are going as far as saying he plays like LeBron. You're like, whoa, okay. I get it, driving through guys. He's strong. He's built like a Mack truck for his size, and he's got an awesome handle. Like a really sneaky, underrated handle, how tight it is on a string. So he just had an awesome game. 41, 12, and 7, 2 blocks.
And the first playoffs for that guy. So we'll see him as that number one guy.
Oh my God, yeah. And this is the Blazers' habit all season long. Like they lose and win a game 6 or 7 times within one game. Yes, and you're right. I thought it was over at the end. I'm like, okay, wow. Hell of a game from him. Drew Holiday was awesome. But they got just enough from those bench guys in particular. You said Jeremy Grant was nice to see play in April. Very rare. And Shaedon Sharpe. I thought he had a decent game. He had a couple threes, and he had a big possession where he played defense on Devin Booker and made Booker, couldn't get around. Booker couldn't get around him, had to settle, and made it for a tough shot. So I thought he gave him a little bit too. So those two guys off the bench, everybody else doing a little bit of part. And credit to Splitter, he went small down the stretch too, and that obviously worked with Jeremy Grant as a small ball 5.
Yeah, Jeremy Grant was great. Klingon didn't really have it. Robert Williams didn't really have it. I think they were like 4 points combined. Did okay on the glass, but it was the small lineup that did it, and the vets totally came through, and I think that kind of showed in the first pick matchup as well. Like LaMelo, Bridges, Kobe White were the best players out there. Older guys, and then Jeremy Grant hitting the clutch shots. Drew with 21 points in this one. Deni Avdija, it's his first pit game, but he feels like a guy that's played in a pit before. He's been around for a while, so I'm always thinking that experience matters in the play-in tournament, not knowing if it's actually true. Last night it definitely felt true, because there were no vets on the Sun side.
Right.
I'm kidding. It was all vets. Yeah, it was all vets. Yeah.
Jalen Green, I guess he's sort of a vet.
He played in the playoffs last year. Well, you live by the Jalen Green, you die by the Jalen Green.
Yeah, those last 6 minutes, Jalen Green got a little too cute. He tried to throw a behind-the-back pass.
Brutal.
What up with that turnover that led to? And everybody was to blame for the last 6 minutes. It's not just on Jalen Green, but then Devin Booker missed an open 3. Way left. Didn't look like a Devin Booker shot. And then Dylan Brooks kind of forced a shot. Just kind of kept rolling. The bad Jalen Green turnover underneath the rim. Booker missed that shot over Klingon, which again he wanted a foul call, and I wanted to pat the refs on the back, not giving Donovan Klingon a foul on that one. I thought the refs did a really good job in this particular game. But in the end, Deni burned Jordan Goodwin, who was the first recipient of the Marley Hustle Award. The Phoenix Suns give out a Hustle Award now, a Dan Marley Hustle Award.
The Dan Marley Hustle Award.
That's the first time. Jordan Goodwin's been good all season, but Deni burned him. Deni got him slipping and sliding out there.
A little trivia for you. Deni Avdija, 5th player to score 50-plus in a play-in game. Can you name the other 4?
40-plus?
Yeah.
Tatum.
That's correct.
You got Kobe White.
Correct.
Nice.
Who else? Ja Morant?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Maybe at 35 or something.
Too big.
Steph?
Nah, 2 guys that are always injured.
Damian Lillard?
No, big guys.
Oh, Embiid? He never played
No.
in a pit. Jimmy Butler? He played a lot of pit games.
No.
Domantas Sabonis would be a weird
Embiid?
one.
Anthony Davis
Oh, okay.
and Zion Williamson.
Oh,
I thought you'd get the Zion.
the Zion was a great one.
Now
Yeah.
Deni joins the list there. Tatum, White, AD, and Zion. That's the list I saw. And Deni, Turbo Deni, living up again to that nickname. Anything else from this one? Blazers did clinch the playoff spot, but maybe the Bulls were the big winners. TK?
Exactly.
Picked up a first-round pick from Portland to complete a 2021 trade. That 3-team trade, Blazers sent Derrick Jones Jr. to the Bulls along with a lottery-protected first-round pick all the way through 2028. But it is flipping over to the Bulls. So the Bulls are going to have 2 top 16 picks. It could be 15th or 16th,
Yep.
that last one there. But 2 top 16 picks here to start the rebuild. That was a trade that also involved Larry Nance Jr. and Lauri Markkanen.
That's
of course,
right.
That was really the Lauri Markkanen trade.
And Derek Jones Jr. as well. So cool. We'll see who they hire, and hopefully they're smart.
How do you feel about the Suns' chances to win on Friday night? Because they still have a crack to get in there as the 8th seed and take on the Thunder.
They will still be at home.
That's right.
I mean, I guess we'll see who they end up playing. That's a big part of it. But
Yeah.
I would take the Clippers over the Suns, and I would take the Suns over the Warriors.
Okay.
Yeah, it feels like they're going to be playing the Clippers. The Suns should and could and will. I'll take the Suns as a winner, no matter who they play.
I'm going to stick to what I said the other day. It felt like that game last night, that was the one, and you're into the playoffs. The 7-8 matchup there between the Blazers and Suns. I don't like their confidence, or I don't like their chances, to beat if it is a Clippers team on Friday night. I feel like that was the one they had to get in. But the Blazers move on, and I can't wait to talk about that series and whether they can they make things a little interesting against Wemby and the Spurs, or will they get waxed? I think they'll play entertaining games regardless. 'Cause
Yes.
that's all they know how to do. I'm telling you. Fun stuff. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get into 2 Eastern Conference playoff series. New FanDuel customers can bet $5, get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right, $5. Flip it into $250 in bonus bets just for getting started. And when every possession matters in the playoffs, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props on your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back them up, FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips. Check your stats, check your trends, matchups all in one place. Make your picks with confidence, baby, confidence. Everything you need all in one app. So don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/podcast to get started. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel, get in the pit. That's what I would say. That's what I did just say.
Yeah, it's a little Kid Rockish of you.
Is that what he said?
Get in the pit and try to love someone.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with
You don't
these
know
lyrics.
Ba with the Ba?
Oh, I mean, I know that song. I didn't know that's what he said in it, I guess. All right, don't say that then. I don't want to.
Yeah, we don't need to be associated with them.
No.
Yeah. Yesterday you said Jax Taylor, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. I was, while you were saying that, I was, because I thought it was a reference to a James Taylor song. So it's like, because you mentioned that you're going to a James Taylor concert, right? So I thought there was a connection. I don't know who Jax Taylor is.
I watched your reaction to him saying it because I knew what he was talking about. I was like, I don't think Tass got that one.
Jax Taylor reference. I don't know the Vanders.
Number 1 guy, Vanderpump Rules.
Not my thing.
James Taylor is the number 1 guy in my mom's heart.
There you go.
Well, and number 2.
You're number 1.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's my Bobby.
Okay, Eastern Conference playoff previews. We did 2 of these in the West yesterday. We're doing 2 in the East. Let's start with the Knicks and the Hawks. Set to meet in the NBA playoffs for the first time since 2021. They played some competitive regular season games. So no reason this series won't give us more of the same. We'll go through things to watch, some X factors, and make our predictions. But the number 3 Knicks versus the number 6 Hawks, what's one thing you got your eye on?
Look, they recently played, so it's burned into my head the way that the Knicks were able to outsize the Atlanta Hawks. They were just way bigger. Karl Anthony Towns looked like that guy that everyone expects of a number 1 pick, and to be that guy who scores a ton. He does really well against Atlanta Hawks because there's a size issue. Yeah. With Onyeka Okongwu starting at center, Cat likes to go at him, and he was going at him the last time they played. And when they tried to cut him off a little bit, he was really good at setting guys up. He's been really good against the Atlanta Hawks this year. You don't want to go too deep on the numbers as far as what he does against the Atlanta Hawks, but they're big, 28-13. Now, because Jock Landale was hurt recently, that was a tough move by Goga Bitadze of the Orlando Magic to take Landale out. That's the guy who would have played Karl Anthony Towns or Mitchell Robinson plenty. And so he's likely out, but I think they went and got Tony Bradley literally the day that they played the New York Knicks recently, just to throw some minutes out there, because he did play against the Knicks for the Pacers last year in the playoffs. He played plenty of minutes. So they're desperate, I think, for size. So that's the thing I think that I'm going to be watching anyway.
Yeah, Cat dominated the Hawks 28, 13, and 3 on 63%
Yeah.
shooting. And only 5 fouls
Yes.
in 2 games. That's huge.
That's big. Yeah.
Limiting Karl Anthony Towns fouls is big. And I just wonder, I wonder if Jalen Johnson could do it, could like step up and guard Towns that way. And like Kongwu can kind of help off Josh Hart. That's the best way to guard the Knicks is guard Towns with a wing. I don't know if Johnson is up to that. Another thing to watch, I think, is tempo control. In this one, the Hawks are 4th in pace. Knicks are 26th. A lot of that comes down to the Hawks really, really want to force turnovers because they don't have a big rim protector. Okongwu is a mobile guy, but he's not deterring shots. They don't necessarily have lockdown guys. Daniels is good. Nah is good, but what they're best at is forcing turnovers and going the other way, getting easy offense. So I wonder which way that turns. And branching off from that, I wonder how Jalen Johnson does against OG Anunoby. Assuming the game slows down the way it usually does, turns into a little more of a half-court game. Jalen Johnson's gotten a lot better there. That's not necessarily his strength, though. The one game the Hawks won this season, Big Johnson had a triple-double. And I think that's kind of the performances we need to see from him for the entirety of this series. He needs to be going head-to-head with Jalen Brunson for best player on the court status for the Hawks to have a chance here.
Jalen versus Jalen. Who's the best Jalen in this series? Yeah, those are the 2 things I got my eye on. You guys basically touched on them. Who controls the pace of play, like you were saying, TK? And then I sort of went a little deeper, but this idea of like, can the Hawks keep Mitchell Robinson in particular off the glass? Rebounding, not a strength of the Hawks because of their size, and without backup center Jock Landale, that's tough. So that's a Kongwu. It's got to be gang rebounding for sure. Everybody's got to help there and end possessions. But Mo Gay, if he's in there, he's got to box out like his life depends on it, and that is a slight guy. And then maybe we get Tony Bradley, just a big boy in there to try and sop up and try and keep off Mitchell Robinson off the glass and Cat, because Robinson, he's good for those like extra 4 or 5 possessions a game where it's like they just kill the spirit of the other team. It's like, oh man, you played great defense, then he just gobbles up, kicks out to a shooter, bang, 3, and you're like, oh, then he does it again, and you're like, timeout, and suddenly a game that you were in, it's like exploded to like 5 or 6, and you're like, somebody keep him off the glass, but easier said than done because he's shown it before in postseason matchups. Yeah. So those are the 2 things I'm watching here.
It feels like he gets better in the playoffs. Maybe because there are usually fewer possessions, so the offensive rebounds feel like a bigger deal.
Yeah, maybe.
Also, the Knicks starters are average. Like the Hawks starting lineup has a plus 21 net rating, much better than the Knicks, which is basically 0.3, negative 0.3. Once they sub out Hart for Robinson or Robinson for Towns, it feels like the Knicks get better because they're getting more shots, maybe. I don't know. And like you're saying, the deflating factor of giving up an offensive rebound, you can't have that for the Hawks. Hawks are decent on the defensive glass, but like is missing Jock Landale that big of a deal? It feels like it, but man, it shouldn't feel like it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're going to have to do it by committee. There's no doubt. Dyson Daniels, because he is tough, even though he's way undersized compared to these guys, is going to have to be just being Dyson Daniels and fighting around there to grab balls, because look at the size of Onyeka or Jalen Johnson. Whether it's their bodies or their height, they're lacking. Yeah, that Jock takeout by Goga Bitadze could be big. I mean, that's why they got him, to just be able to fight.
Big boy.
Who do you have for X factors in this series?
Well, I'll start with Dyson Daniels, because as much as he's ridiculed for a guy who can't shoot the ball, he's all right to end the season. Not bad at all. 10 of 24 of his last 24 attempts.
Let's go.
So they're going to guard him with a big that can leave him, whether it's Cat or Mitchell Robinson or whoever. They're going to leave him. Shoot those, Dyson. If he can hit a couple, it changes things, just to space things out. So that's big for them. It feels like the Hawks have a bunch of these guys that if they can execute, they're going to score. It goes on, I think, to Jonathan Kuminga, who could be big and has been solid since he was acquired, but they're just going to have to outscore the Knicks' talented dudes, and I think it starts with those 2.
Yeah, I've got Kuminga off the bench. He's going to have to run that second unit when Jalen Johnson gets a very rare rest. And they can't obviously get blitzed in those minutes that he's on the bench. So Kuminga's big. I mean, look, he played well when he got an opportunity in games that they lost last year when Curry went down with injury, but he put up points.
Wasn't playing
Obviously
ISO ball too much.
No. Yeah. So I had him on the Hawks. Who do you have? Either Knicks or Hawks?
I'm with you guys. Daniels has to be a threat. doesn't necessarily have to be making threes. That would be helpful, but he has to do something on offense because they need him defensively against Brunson, most importantly. Kuminga needs to be the best bench player in the series. Like, the Knicks have a pretty solid bench. Mitch, Deuce, Shamet, Alvarado, maybe Clarkson gets some time. Diawara would probably see spot minutes if he plays well, keeps playing. But Kuminga has an opportunity to at least be the takeover guy in this series. And he's he's got the highest ceiling, at least, of the guys on the bench for the Hawks. I'm not expecting big things from Kispert or Gabe or Risa Shea, anything like that. But I also think Mikal Bridges needs to be present in this series, right? Like, he can't just be floating in and out of games. He made huge defensive plays for the Knicks last year in the playoffs, a steal at the end of one game, a block at the end of the other game. He's a great defensive playmaker, and they need him energized, guarding Nickeil Alexander-Walker on the perimeter as their main point of attack guy, because we know Brunson will be hiding somewhere. He could be a Daniels Hyde guy as well, but Bridges needs to be in the flow of offense so that he can be out there defensively as well.
Yeah, I think it was James Edwards III on The Athletic pointing out, like, if his jump shot isn't falling, then he isn't really contributing on the offensive end because he never attacks. He never goes to the free throw line. He just doesn't really put any pressure on the rim. So if he doesn't get those wing threes or the odd jumper here or there, it's like you wouldn't even know he's on that end of the floor. Because he just never attacks the rim. So that's I have him as a bit of an X factor because I have so much confidence in Brunson. I think Cat versus this Hawks matchup, yes. Mitchell obviously doing his thing. Josh Hart I love. He's going to do all the dirty work. They're going to hope he can hit threes. He'll be left open at times to prove it again. OG, solid. Bridges. I get to Bridges here. I'm like, okay, what type of Bridges you get? Because I think if you get a good Mikal Bridges, the Knicks are like very, very tough to beat, especially in a 7-game series. For the Hawks to advance, they need a disappearing act from Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, especially with a series that Cat should be touching the ball and commanding the Hawks. You could see Mikal Bridges not being involved at all, kind of thing, because they kind of fluctuate. Sometimes people will say, "Oh, hey, Cat's not involved." Same thing for Mikal Bridges, but it sure feels like Cat's going to be involved in this series just because of size. I mean, he's just going to gobble up Onyeka Okongwu. It feels like
he should. Let's get to predictions. TK, I'll start with you here. Knicks-Hawks, where are you going? How many games?
I really want to pick the Hawks for an upset. I do. Everybody does. Nobody wants to see this Knicks team advancing. Maybe there might be some Knicks fans out there. I don't know. I do like that the Hawks have been practicing with Madison Square Garden audio pumped in.
Smart.
Pretty hilarious, including the organ.
The organ? Yeah, I was going to say.
You got used to playing with the organ now that Sir Foster's not down there at the Fortress. I wonder if CJ McCollum can have some Madison Square Garden just like Trae Young did. He was willing to step up in big moments, Trae Young was. We've seen McCollum hit some big shots for the Hawks, but he doesn't have a great track record in MSG. He has rarely played there, being a Western Conference guy for the majority of his career. I'm going Knicks in 7. I'm giving the Hawks a lot of respect here.
So when they're practicing with the organ, did they bring Sir Foster down? Because Sir Foster could easily just
imitate it. It's like Joe Ingles. You have to be Luka Doncic in practice. Sir Foster, you have to be Knicks organist in practice. I like that.
Yeah. Like the Raptors using Lloyd as Steph Curry. Just you got to do what you got to do here in the playoffs. Let's get Sir Foster in here. We'll get the guy who could talk about his colonoscopy. We'll get Sir Foster in here just to feel it out.
Pack it out.
7 is respect. That's wonderful stuff. I can't go that far. I just think the Knicks in 6, just because they have so much talent. That's the picks. The picks are the Knicks in 6. The Hawks wanted this the way they played the final day of the regular season. So, hey, maybe they come through, but it's hard to see them more than 6 for me.
The Hawks are weird to figure out here, right? Because they enter the series pretty red hot. I mean, 19-6 post All-Star break, though the Knicks were pretty solid too. But the Hawks rank in the top 10 in 3-point volume and efficiency. I mean, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, we haven't even mentioned him. The guy's been on fire for weeks now. For them to pull off the upset, he needs to continue that. Defensively, he's going to try and hound Brunson, use his length and all that, make it difficult, but he needs to obviously score a bunch for them as well. But then you look at the schedule that the Hawks had and you're like, holy crap, it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
Even their wins against like top 6 Eastern Conference playoff teams, like actually in, a lot of like caveats, right? No Cade Cunningham in their win. In overtime versus Detroit. No Tatum. Celtics were on a back-to-back in their win against the Celtics. No Mitchell or Jared Allen in their win against Cleveland. So I'm like, I don't know. It's like they're a lot more fun after moving off of Trae Young, and these guys are playing really strongly, and Quinn's got something going here. But it's like, I don't know. Is this all sort of fake? Like, can they beat these really legit good teams, which I think the Knicks are?
I mean, they played them tight.
So.
They played them tight.
Played them tight.
It's a big step up, though.
Played them tight, but even in tight games, I'm going to side with Jalen Brunson. As we saw in that Hawks-Knicks game. I mean, CJ hit the crazy buzzer beater at the end of the game, but just a little second too late. So you have Knicks in 7. You have Knicks in 6.
Yeah.
I'm going Knicks in 5. Yeah, I'm going Knicks in 5. I've been sort of saying all season long, the Knicks are just waiting for the postseason here. They're just like lollygagging a little bit here. Not that's good. I don't love that.
We'll see if they're good enough to flip the switch.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right, so we all have the Knicks, but maybe it's a little closer in TK's mind than it is in mine.
Stream team saying Knicks.
Okay.
76% saying the Knicks.
Okay. Let's talk Cavaliers-Raptors. Toronto, talking about the Knicks, they were drawn dead against the Knicks. They had lost all 5 games against New York, including one on Friday night, but thanks to Orlando losing to Boston's C team, the Raptors instead faced Cleveland, which they did sweep their 3-game season series. Yeah, all those games were played before even December. Like before Thanksgiving. So no Harden, of course, for
American
the Cavs.
Thanksgiving.
American Thanksgiving. Yes.
Not
Thank
Canadian
you.
Thanksgiving.
Still, a better draw for the Raptors against the Cavs than it would have been against the Knicks, who they just cannot beat. So let's break it down. One thing to watch for in CAVS-RAPTORS, which gets the postseason. The actual playoffs started on Saturday.
Yeah, 12:30 Eastern in Cleveland. It's gonna feel like Toronto for me. I'm gonna make it feel like I'm cheering for the Toronto Raptors, but from the get-go, I am more concerned about what the Cavs do to get everyone involved for the Toronto Raptors. Because if they do get Evan Mobley involved, because he isn't a, hey, just take the ball and score kind of guy, but if he is setting picks, which sometimes he doesn't, along with Jared Allen, and those guys can play the big-to-big passing, and James Harden and Donovan Mitchell can make it happen later on in the game, it could be a quick game or 2 or 3 or 4 for the Toronto Raptors. So that's my concern. I know there's very few minutes that those 4 guys played together. And by 4 guys, I'm talking specifically about Mitchell and Harden and Allen and Mobley. They only played 89 minutes together after they acquired Harden, and Mobley was hurt. Everybody was hurt. Or there's a lot of injuries. So that is a concern. I legitimately watch the Cavs and watch, and if Mobley's not involved, not setting picks, then he's just not part of the game, and he doesn't make them, the Raptors in this case, hurt. He doesn't get the ball down low. He's just less involved. So I think that's important for the Cavs. Just keep that Donovan Mitchell sort of on the back burner and watch him kill it in the 4th quarter. That's what this team should be all about. And Donovan Mitchell could do that. So that's what I'm watching from the get-go.
TK?
Yeah, it's actually going to be exciting to see their 4 big guys playing together, and that gives Cleveland a massive backcourt advantage, which that's the question for me. Who guards Donovan Mitchell? Like, who even is the choice? I think Barnes will probably be on Harden. Just size-wise, it makes a little bit more sense. Ingram, maybe a Mobley. I wonder if Jamal Shed is going to end up starting in this series with Emmanuel Quickley struggling with injury right now.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he probably is the best choice to guard Donovan Mitchell. You could also try RJ Barrett on Donovan Mitchell. I think that's a bad recipe. Mitchell has been a playoff riser, hasn't gotten super far in the playoffs, but he's got multiple 40-point games, multiple 50-point games. He seems to always go to the next level come playoff time, and it looks like he's got a favorable matchup in this one.
Yeah, I think there'll be some Jacoby Walter playing plenty of minutes against Mitchell. Could end up closing games in the 4th quarter against Mitchell.
Yeah, I think RJ Barrett is likely going to start on Donovan Mitchell. They'll give it a go, but I don't love that matchup either, like you're saying, TK. But Scotty Barnes generally plays Mobley in previous sort of matchups and has done all right with him. But I hear you, like maybe you put Barnes, your greatest defender, on one of these guys to try and contain them, and you just hope Mobley just settles for trying to shoot threes and struggles there, and maybe Ingram can play off or whatever. But I just want Darko, whatever happens, I want him to be like quick to a change, or like not afraid to go to a Colin Murray Boyles or a Jacoby Walter or something like that. Like sort of like, what do you have to lose? You're not a favorite in this series, even though it's a 4-5. Like you can be aggressive. You can take the wild swings on getting a little funky and maybe trying to, like I say, play the rook. Because I'm a little worried about Pirtle in this series too. I mean, yeah, there's Jared Allen out there, but like, I don't know, man. They're going to put Pirtle in every action imaginable. And like, that man's going to drop, and it's like, oh my God, Mitchell and Harden could just feast in those situations. So maybe you just go away from it. I don't know. I just want him, if like, I get it, you're going to start with it. You pay the guy a lot of money, and maybe he can make all those big bucks back for you with a good series here. But just don't be afraid to like, just get funky right away if it's blowing up in your face early.
Yeah. Speaking of early, I know we're talking about who's going to guard Donovan Mitchell. I think it is a concern for the Cavs as to who's going to guard Brandon Ingram, because we see Brandon Ingram in the playoffs, and he is taken away by guys, most recently like a Lou Dort, who is extremely physical. The Cavs don't really have that guy. I think that needs to be a successful matchup if the Raptors are going to win.
Ingram has to dominate for them to pull off this upset.
Yeah,
he's got to score 25 plus in the series. Like, he has to, I think.
And maybe he can.
He had one good playoff series and one bad playoff series. One was against OKC, a great defense, and one was against the Phoenix Suns, a forgettable defense. So it's possible.
Yeah.
And that's definitely the Raptors' biggest advantage, is like the Cavs have a question mark at the 3 spot. It's like Dean Wade is probably going to be the guy. That's the guy they like the most. He has had some injury problems, but seems to be fine. They got a few other guys they could throw out there. Merrill, Strus, maybe Jalen Tyson, though he's kind of fallen out of the rotation a little bit. Ingram is the best player of all those guys named, so he has to be really big for the Raps.
Yeah, they'll throw a Keon Ellis just to annoy him a little bit, but he's way too tiny, so Ingram can get it going.
X factors in Cavs Raps. Who wants to get us started? Either side.
Well, I think it is Emmanuel quickly. You said, Trey, that he may not be playing. Mild hamstring is what's happening there, but it's a bad sign coming off plantar fasciitis just before that, where he came back and returned for a couple games, but then you get the mild hamstring going. It's super important for him to be able to penetrate and get into that paint because, Jamal Shed can help out there in place of him, but he's not the same scorer that Emmanuel quickly is. Watching Davion Mitchell for the Miami Heat in the play-in tournament made me think, that would be nice for the Raptors to still have that guy just as a backup, because at the end of the games, the pin downs that the Raptors run for Brandon Ingram are going to get blown up by a playoffs defense. And so what's going to happen on the other side? Is it Scotty Barnes going to be able to create and just do what he does? Sometimes just play bully ball. That's not really his thing. I think quickly is just so dependent for this team. And I know there's going to have other guys that they can help out. RJ Barrett can help out and others. But I think this quickly injury could be pretty important here in this game. And he could be playing or not. Or he could be playing 20 minutes and not ending games because his hamstring isn't all that good.
Yeah, that's a huge X factor, is if Quickly plays and who they play in his stead. Jamal Shed feels very important to me. Maybe Jacoby Walter. I don't trust him maybe as much as you guys do. But Toronto needs to force turnovers, and they need some sort of perimeter defense here. The question for me is, can the Raptors rebound? They're 19th in defensive rebound rate this season. Cleveland 9th in offensive rebound rate. Like you talked about, Skeets, massive size advantage for the Cavs, which means to me Pirtle has to play.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, it's like he's going to have to give them really, really good minutes in this one, because the backups are wee willy Raptors. Just little guys. Mamu's small. CMB is small, and they rebound at their size. So that's a problem, certainly, for Toronto. But, maybe they can make it weird. Sometimes making it weird works.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean by exactly what I mean by that. So, like, especially if you're down, if they Cavs take care of business in the first 2 games in Cleveland or something like that, which for the Raptors to pull off the upset, they almost guaranteed have to steal one of those in these first 2 games. I think I don't see them winning 4 or 5 after that. But I have Dwayne Wade. I have Dean Wade as sort of my X factor. You already went over it. Like they like starting him with Allen and Mobley, but can he stay healthy and can he hit a shot? So he is one. Dennis Schroeder, I think, too. I'm actually terrified as a Raptors fan. I can see it now. He's going to hit a big shot. He's going to turn to Darko and scream in his face. Some bad blood, I think, about how that went. I'm terrified of Dennis Schroeder like hitting a big shot and trash talking us. I literally can picture it. So I have him maybe coming through, but you said Keon Ellis. Like they got a lot of guys that they'll can sort of roll through to see who has it going. Yeah. But I go back to Colin Murray-Boyles. I think I'd love to see him almost thrown into the Lions' den. Again, if there's little expectations to actually advance and make any noise in the postseason, let's get him some reps here. let's play a very good team, talented bigs, and see how he holds up. I mean, I know he's banged up. He feels like he's been banged up all season. Feels like every second body part's injured on that guy. But hey, if you can play, you can play. I think he's going to get an opportunity here. I hope he does.
Yeah, throw him in the den because he likes to fight. He isn't a huge rebound guy at 6'7", but he likes to fight and he'll block shots. And so the physical advantage against Evan Mobley, I think you can call it a physical advantage at times, even though Mobley's way bigger. He will play physical, and they need that.
All right, predictions. Tass, you're the Raptors fan. Let's start with you. Do you smell an upset here, or do you have the Cavs taking care of business?
It ain't smelly.
No.
It's not smelling like an upset right now. I got to be completely honest. The matchups aren't great. Emmanuel Quickley not cooking at this point of the season, not great. I think that's key. I got the Cavs in 6.
Okay.
Simple as that. We'll see if literally, as we've said, Ingram has to carry this team and score a ton. And it can't just be the Scotty Barnes all of a sudden is this fourth quarter playmaking guy who he's never been. Because they're going to blow up that side of the floor with Ingram. They're going to do a good job of that in the fourth quarter, taking his side of the floor away. It shouldn't be on Ingram. It shouldn't be on Scotty Barnes to do things. So, it doesn't bode well for me.
I would like to see one of the Cavaliers wear a pair of the new LeBrons, the LeBronto ones. That'd be a great touch. I don't know if it'll happen, though, because it's like Mitchell and Harden are Adidas guys. Mobley wears Adidas. Jared Allen has been wearing the same shoes his entire career. I don't think it hits quite as hard if Dean Wade's out there in the LeBron 23, but it would still be pretty cool to see. And, the stat going around is that the Raptors haven't won a game against the Cavs in how many years? Like 100 years?
In the postseason?
In the postseason.
I think they've lost 10 straight.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. LeBron is not there.
Yeah, there's another James, unfortunately.
There's another James. Yeah. Another Wade as well. But I'll give the Raptors one game. I'll give them game 4.
Oh, gentleman sweep.
Yeah. Cavs in 5.
Okay. I'm going Cavs. I mean, if you've been watching the show all season long, I've not had a lot of confidence in the Raptors, so it's not like I'm going to suddenly just wave the We the North flag and go, yeah, here we go right now against a good Cavs team who took a while to finally figure things out. But when Harden, Mitchell, Mobley, and Allen play, even in limited minutes, small sample size, they've been very good. So those guys, if they're healthy, I like their chances. I got Cavs in 6. There's just so many things that have to go right for the Raptors to make this a series, let alone pull off the upset. You started with Ingram. Scotty Barnes has to completely outplay Mobley, which it could happen. Which, again, he's had some success against him. Pirtle has to, prove that he's worth the big payday that he got here. I mean, it hasn't been for the regular season. Make all that money in this series right here. Quickly needs to probably come back and be healthy. It's just so many things that have to go right. Don't have a lot of confidence in all of them. I just don't think they have the firepower to match this team. I mean, we're glossing over Mitchell, Harden. These guys are massive numbers of playoff games where they put up 30, 40, 50 in Mitchell's case. So I just don't know if the Raps can be able to keep up.
Yeah, and that's why
I hope they just throw the kitchen sink at him. I want Darko to just coach his ass off in this series and just try stuff.
Yeah, there's a reason why they haven't been great against the really good teams because they don't have the firepower.
Yeah,
and so they get to the fourth quarter, and who is going to execute when? I keep saying the Ingram thing's going to get blown up because it's so much reliant upon that guy scoring. It ain't going to be Barnes. It ain't going to be Quickly. It's unlikely. It ain't going to be Pirtle. I know we kind of skipped over RJ Barrett, but it's just not likely going to be him. So I hope we get to the end of the games where we're watching a close game.
Yeah.
Because I think that's an accomplishment against this Cleveland Cavaliers team, who will, I guess, maybe be wearing these LeBronto shoes as I'm looking. It's almost so disrespectful. I want to see a Raptor walk in with these LeBronto shoes.
Oh, wow.
We're flipping the script.
Say F it. Say F it. F these shoes.
Okay.
Although they're very nice.
Is Drake going to be there in Toronto at least? Game 3? He's got these iced out seats.
He better be.
His album is finally coming, The Iceman.
Has he been at games this year?
I don't think so. Maybe a handful. But you saw the seats, right?
I did see the seats.
Okay.
What's his album called?
I think Iceman, I think. What is he, Dave Grisham?
Is he
The only Iceman I know. Nobody likes ice like my buddy Grish, your buddy Grish, our buddy Grish. Nobody.
He does love ice.
Oh my God, he's obsessed.
Must love ice.
He's psychotic. He's like he brings his own ice,
Tray,
like trays or whatever. Like when we go to like Airbnbs, like when we did the hiking trip, he brought his own ice trays.
Wow.
And that's next level to me.
So you're saying he's on the Mount Icemore?
Yes.
I mean,
Gervin,
yeah.
Yeah.
Ice tray.
Val Kilmer,
Yes.
Dave Grisham. And
Is it Trae Young? I mean, it might be.
Sure. Iceman
It's a
Trae
good
Young.
nickname.
Well, we'll have
It's a
to
good
see if
nickname.
Drake's album lives up to it. You know,
Jim
maybe-
Ice.
Ooh, nice pull.
It's open. The fourth spot is open.
Wow,
On
Jim
Mount
Ice, a
Icemore.
nice pull. It's a good ice.
Iceman's a cool nickname. Literally cool, but I do like it.
You're saying.
Well, we're
Gervin,
never calling Grish
Kilmer.
Iceman.
No.
I'll tell you that. He's not cool enough to be Iceman.
So Gervin, Grish, and Kilmer are the locks. Who's the fourth?
Yeah, let us know down below.
It sounds like it's down to Trae Young, Jim Ice, or potentially Drake if this is a really
Yeah, we
bounce
gotta
back
wait and
album.
We're saving a spot for you.
Yeah, all right. So, yeah, Cavs in 6 from the 2 Raptors homers, and Trey says Cavs in 5. Let's hear from you guys with both those series. What did the people say on that one? I know people are picking Cleveland.
71% for the stream team on the
Okay.
Cavs right now.
So more people
Yep.
picking the Knicks to advance past the Hawks than the Cavs to pass
Indeed.
the Raptors.
Yep,
But we
that's
got
good.
a lot of Toronto fans.
I'm seeing some raps and sevens here
Yeah, yeah.
in the stream team.
For sure.
Jurassic Park Jr. they call it.
What's John Horn saying? I say
Saying
the
it's
Canadian.
warm in Vancouver.
The Canadians.
Victoria.
Yeah,
Canadians.
my bad.
Go on. That's
Okay,
all. I just
okay.
wanted to say John Horn.
The Horn Man.
Okay, good. Little bite of the night. Yeah, it's back. We had games on last night. Sponsored by Luke Nelson. Luke's band, Courtesy Flush, had stopped making music more than 2 decades ago, but got back together, got back on the toilet, and released their EP, Last Chance Goodbyes. That's the name of it. It's on most streaming platforms. We got the link in the YouTube description. We got 2 links. One for Apple, one for Spotify for Last Chance Goodbyes. This is for all of the no-dunkers who are also pop punk fans, writes Luke. That Venn diagram has to basically be a circle. Probably right. So thank you, Luke, for sponsoring Woboy. Deni Avdija gets Woboy. 41 points, 7 boards, 12 assists, 2 blocks. 15 of 22 this guy shot. 3 of 8 from deep. 8 of 13 at the line. 38 minutes played. And he was coming through in the clutch. Just operating up top, in his bag, and then attacking and finishing inside. Great game.
Speaking of numbers, do you like the number on the front of those jerseys? Because it really pops. I don't know if it's because of the way the color hue you chose, because it really pops, I thought.
I do have a filter. Thank you for noticing on that. Yes.
I
It looks good,
Yeah, you like it?
I guess.
That's fine.
Good photo choice. He
Yeah,
was
we got-
screaming a lot last night.
Oh, a lot of
was
screaming.
ready.
I mean, the Suns, when you're talking jerseys, they were in their city editions. Remember we were talking about that the other day? So many of these teams are.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, are the Raptors going to be wearing, the black dinos,
The Black Dinos?
or with the Vince Carter dino dunking between his legs? Of course, they might. Why wouldn't you?
Did Heat wear red last night? No, Blazers wore red.
It's black, right? I
They
think
wore
the Heat.
black.
Yeah, black. Couldn't remember.
Hornets
that-
didn't wear their city jerseys.
No.
Yeah, but maybe the Raps will. Why not?
Well, I know the Wolves are and the Sixers are, at least for their home games.
City warm-ups of the Raps. My fave.
Yeah?
Love those. Yeah, just solid black. Looks great.
Okay. All right. Congrats to Deni there on Woboy. In case you missed it, we did do those 2 Western Conference series yesterday, and we clipped those out and we put them up on YouTube if you want to go check out our previews and predictions for both the Wolves Nuggets as well as the Lakers Rockets. So make sure you go check those out. We'll be back tomorrow to break down tonight's 2 play-in games. The pick continues. Magic Sixers. And the second game is
Warriors
Clippers. I was drawing a blank there.
You stretched it out nice.
Also, we got Survivor on tonight. There's a lot of things on television tonight. So we'll be back to break down those games. I mean, I'm calling it now. There's no way they're as entertaining as last night's games. There's no
gonna be tough.
possible way.
Going to be tough.
No way, man. But we'll break them down anyway. And then when are we doing our 2-7 matchups? Tomorrow, are we? Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. We could.
Tomorrow's Thursday,
We could
right?
do Spurs Blazers
Yeah.
2-7.
Yeah.
We'll know after tonight whether it's the Magic or Sixers taking on the Celtics. So yeah, we'll probably do those playoff previews
Nice.
tomorrow. So join us at 10 a.m. Eastern. Hit the like button, subscribe, 5-star ratings and reviews. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah. remember that we're going to be talking about Pitt Season 2, Pitt Part 2 tomorrow, because we're getting to Pitt Part 3 on Friday. Just like there's a Pitt Season 3 coming out. I didn't realize that.
Heard they're doing a night shift edition as well, potentially.
Whoa.
It's just the buzz in my house.
Night edition, huh? What's going to happen then? It's going to be
Hospital stuff.
A lot of the same
overnight,
things.
yeah.
Here's the thing
It's the
about a
same
hospital.
thing.
You don't know if it's dark
Exactly.
outside or light inside.
So I'm like, what is different, really?
Not
New
much.
cast.
Brace the day, people.